Hello everyone. This video is to help you create a actual architectural model out of your Revit drawings. So this is the shed, so we use this as an example. And where you're going to start is you go to the first floor plan. And what we're going to do is we're going to export these into AutoCAD and then essentially use AutoCAD to then send the information to the laser to engrave and to cut. All right. So I'm going to use the floor plan, and then for the walls, I'm going to use the elevations here, east, south, and west. The only thing is with these elevations, you have to clean them up a little bit, hide and view, just do category. Try to take care of it all at the same time. Hide and view category. All right. And then same thing over here. Hide these. Hide these. What else? That's already done. That's already done. Okay. So what you do is you go to File, Export, CAD formats. We're going to export as a DWG, which is a drawing file. Okay. And we're going to export in session views and sheets, and then let's see, sheets in the model, or views in the model. Let's see about that. Yeah, views in the model. So we want to do east elevation, north elevation, south elevation, west elevation, and the floor plan. All right. So then we click next, and then it's asking you where you want to put this stuff. I've got this in my 2020-21 utility shed model, CEA utility shed, and we're going to call this architectural model, and hit OK. And this might take a little bit of time, we'll see. But the point is, if I go to my folders here, it is in my, so this was the Revit file, and what it did is it created 5 separate AutoCAD files, one for each of them. So the first floor, and then each of the elevations, west, south, north, and east. So I'm going to open the first floor first. I'm going to open up in AutoCAD, which is this program right here. I'm just going to open it up from here, though. All right, and you see it's the same thing I was looking at, just now it's in the AutoCAD program. And if you're not familiar with AutoCAD, it's a slightly older drawing program, but you do have more control over what you can draw. It's not all pre-done for you. All right, so we just need to kind of clean this up and make a few adjustments. All right, so first off, underneath the architectural model, I don't want the dimensions to show. So if you click on that, that's showing up in the A Anno Dims layer. So I'm just going to turn that layer off. All right, and I guess it's this one here. All right, and then also these sections, I don't want that. Anno G Anno Sim, turn that one off. And then I don't want this to show up. So let's see. If I go to home, that's in the A floor pattern, it looks like. Okay, so that looks like, I think, what I want everything else to show up as. So now you need to create 2 new layers. So go to Layer Properties, click on that, and create 2 new layers. One for, you can call it either raster or engrave. Raster is like more of a technical term for when you're doing laser stuff. I'll just call it engrave. And the color for the engraving, you can choose whatever color you want. I'm just gonna, I think, do this like this color here, cyan for that. And then I'm going to make another new layer here called cut or vector. And then for the vector, I'm going to do a contrasting color, so like a red color. Okay. And close that. So, what you got to also remember is that these like windows and doors and other stuff like that, they're going to be blocks in AutoCAD. And so if I try to switch the layer here, it's called glazing right now, which is not a technical term for windows. Here's the door. If I try to switch that to a different layer, you're going to see that it's not really going to switch or change the way I want it to. So what I would do is highlight everything and explode. All right, this option right here is explode, so it turns everything into individual line segments. I'm just going to highlight and do that a couple times here and make sure now, yes, it's all individual line segments. And now when I highlight it and switch everything, I'm going to switch everything initially to Engrave. Oops. Let's try that again. Click on the named Engrave. There you go. So now everything shows up in this cyan color. All right. And when I send it to the laser, also the Engrave layer, the line thickness, just set it to default. All right. When you go to the cut layer, in order for the laser to know it to cut it, the line thickness for that specific layer needs to be set to 0.00. That way the laser will know to interpret that line as a cut line. And I just switch all of the exterior lines now to vector, or to cut, to cut the cut layer. All right, so I'm just going to go around, select every single one of them. Be very careful as you do this. And before I make a mistake, I'll just switch to the ones that I've already done to cuts, hit escape to unselect those, and I'll select these. And I'll do a cut. You see a little bit of overlap here. This is getting really technical if you want to keep that. And then I'll show you how to do a cut later for that. Just keep going around. And this. All right, and switch all those to cut. And then you can actually draw a line here. So here's the line tool. You can click on it here. You can type in the letter L and enter, because AutoCAD is a DOS-based, originally it was a DOS-based system. It still has a lot of the commands available for you. Oops, I forgot to switch my layer to cut. So I'll just highlight the line. And now you can see all around the border here, I've got, this will cut it out of the foam board. Everything else will engrave, or just slightly just burn into the foam board. That's what I'll set the blue layer to. Everything else will just cut. Okay. And instead of having separate files, the easiest thing that I found to do your own thing, is to open up this, and again just highlight, Control C. Over here, Control V. So here is the, which one did I open there? That was the west elevation. Let's do the south elevation. Copy, Control C, Control V. Here's the south elevation. I'm just placing them anywhere for now. The north elevation, cleaned up a little bit more. North elevation, and then finally, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Try that again. The east elevation. All right, and there we go. And now I can close these other ones that I don't want. And I don't have to save them or anything, so I didn't make any adjustments to those that I don't want to save. All right, so now, again, just let's clean up. So those are on a floor level, so let's turn that layer off. And let's just kind of move things around. Highlight, move that one here. Move this one here. Move this one here. And actually, I'm going to move this one a little bit further over. All right, so highlight everything. Again, it's the same exact process. Hit explode, do it again, highlight everything, hit explode. All right. And now there's a bit more cleanup work here. Okay. So first of all, for the sides, I'm not going to actually cut the roof out. So I'm going to get rid of the roof. Um, and it's easiest to actually do this first. So let's see. I'm actually going to leave the roof on. Um, so, okay, well, let's go to the floor first. I should have done that first. So floor, I definitely am not going to cut the floor out because the floor is already been cut over here. So I can turn the floor layer off. I tend to not want to delete stuff. I want to just switch layers because that way the information is still there if I realize I want it in the future. All right, so I'm just highlighting all this siding first, even this little one up here, and change that to the engrave. All right, change this to also the engrave. Where's the engrave? Right there. All right, and then I'm gonna, I can't turn the roof off yet, so I have to do all that same stuff here. So highlight everything as best as I can. All right. Kind of tedious. Get a little better. All right, and let's change that all to engrave now. Where's engrave? Right there. Okay. Some of this didn't switch over to engrave, so let's do that. Got to make sure everything is engrave. Here it's a little bit easier. Be careful about how high up I go. Switch that all to engrave. And then same thing here. Switch that all to engrave. All right, so everything else that is remaining as roof, which looks pretty similar in color, unfortunately. I'm going to turn the roof layer off. And then I can just trim this stuff back. Okay, so hit trim, and then trim that, trim that, trim, trim, anything else. All right. The other thing is, because of the overhang and how the overhang kind of came down, these two walls here are shorter than they need to be. So easiest thing to do is here, I will actually do a delete here, and here, here, and here, and then I will copy and paste. And let's see, dimension, what is this dimension here? There to there is 6 inches, so I can do an offset of 6 inches. If you have to type in the inches symbol, let's see if I have another. Okay, right there, perfect. And then extend, trim, extend that over to there. All right, and then this seems like for some reason when I did this, the yeah, I have 4 inch over here instead of, okay, either way, let's do an offset. So one side's going to have a 4 inch. Looks like I made that some kind of mistake when I did my model in Revit. Either way, all good. All right, so let's do some extend here. Extend there and there and oh, okay. There. And I will manually extend this one for some reason. Okay. All right, so there we have it. And now again, it's just cleaning up the cutting for the outside, the vector for the outside. So I'm just going to select the outside edges. Carefully. Here, we gotta make sure I get the door, the stuff for the door here. All right. Okay, here we go. Oops. All right, so change that all to cut. And now it's just about arranging it. And now it's ready to be sent to the machine for cutting. The only thing you need to think through now is a little bit of scaling and how big you want your model to be, because remember, this is built here in full scale. So right, your outside edges, this is it should be 16 feet by, kind of depends on how you're measuring or where exactly, because of the thickness of the wall. If we do the core length here, it should be 16 feet by 12 feet. Obviously, our lasers are not that big. We're not going to build a full-size model. This is an architectural model, so it should be scaled. Anyways, you're going to watch the next video to figure out the scaling of it. Okay, but that's it for now to get the file set up, and I'll do one more video to show you how to do the scaling. If you have any questions, let me know.